Guys, Rumblysuperset here, back again, this time doing another news update video for you guys. Today, we are talking about Grace and her abilities, as well as her splash art reveal, which we can see right there on the screen. We'll just go in and get right into it. So it looks like we have a paladin, a knight of sorts, who is being outfitted by a couple maids. She has a giant mace with really large spikes. And she looks like she may even be like a queen of sorts or princess. I don't know, because she does have a crown on her head. But anyways, so it says Grace leads her team into battle by charging forward with her giant mace. Utilizing the power of the light, she protects her allies by granting them holy shields, then greatly reduce incoming damage. When the fight seems bleak, she can turn the tides of battle by calling upon the Seraphim to dish out massive single target heals. Read on for Grace's abilities. Okay, so she is literally the definition of a paladin. She's a warrior slash support healer type of character here. While she can probably do some pretty, I would say that she can probably be like Lance, where she can hit pretty hard if built appropriately, but mainly she's there to disrupt fights, to charge in, to, you know, CC enemies, and then provide damage reduction and heals for her team. But yeah, so I mean, I'm going to be experimenting with her when she comes out. What path is actually really good? Obviously, captain role will be probably her best, but I want to see if she can kind of transition into more of a warrior with weapon power. Say for instance, like the Lance, who can go weapon power and has done so in competitive at times. But yeah, so let's go and go down. Here are her abilities. So we have her first passive, or her passive, which is Retribution, heroic perk. Grace chains her normal basic attacks into a ground slam. So she does basic attacks and eventually it goes into a ground slam, dealing bonus weapon damage and slowing enemies in a wide area. So by default, her passive will slow. So she has a default CC that will always take effect so long as you're constantly basic attacking. If enemies are hit by the ground slam, her ability cooldowns are reduced. So that is really important too, because her kit's going to revolve around this cooldown reduction, being able to be more effective the more you land that ground slam, because now you can use your other abilities more. That's going to be important. Benediction, her A ability. Grace dashes to her target, striking them with an empowered retribution attack. Nearby allies instantly gain a directional holy shield that continually faces the target, while Grace gains a full holy shield that protects her from all sides. The holy shield reduces incoming damage that strikes the shield. Upon learning this ability, Grace permanently reduces all damage she receives. Whew. This effect and the holy shield scale with crystal power. So she's gonna be as far as this particular ability, she'd be like who was it? CP Lance. So Lance is kind of a great comparison actually, but Lance has some ratios where it affects his defensive skills with CP. So a lot of times people get like a shatter glass on a Lance endgame to increase the root duration, and so she's kind of similar, where, you know, all these the damage reduction and the holy shield effectiveness scale with crystal power. Just knowing that she has, by default, by selecting this ability, she gets reduced damage by default. That means she's going to be one hell of a tank. And then she also provides that holy shield for her allies. While it's not a 360 full protective shield, it does protect them from the direct frontal area from the target that was, I guess, of interest. I'm not sure how that's going to work as far as how it determines where the shield faces. I'll have to see. But anyways, her Holy Nova. After a short delay, Grace knocks enemies into the air and disables them for a short time. If the attack hits at least one enemy, Grace immediately recovers from this ability. On overdrive, Grace gains immunity to negative effects when casting this ability. So that's important too. If you don't overdrive it, then you're going to have to block some stuff, because there is a channel time, as it says, after a short delay. Grace knocks enemies up into the air and disables them. So that's definitely a hard CC. While it's not a stun per se, I think knock up kind of follows into the same path anyways. You can't really do anything while you're knocked up. It sounds very sexual. But anyway, so, and then also she She has a similar effect to like Lance's Impale, it seems, where if you miss the Impale, there's a delay at which you have to wait so you can recover. Whereas if you land that Impale, you recover immediately. We all kind of know what that is like, right? Because Lance has been around for a while. Well, I guess she has something similar. So if she lands this ability, she can recover immediately. If she doesn't, then it puts her in harm's way. So it's something to take into consideration when you're using this ability, that you want to make sure you're not missing it, because you're going to end up getting a lot of hits on you if you do miss it. People are going to take advantage of that. Divine Intervention, her ultimate. Grace instantly surrounds herself and her target with a full holy shield and begins channeling, after which Grace's target receives a massive heal. So herself doesn't receive a heal, but she does receive that initial holy shield, which, you know, I assume would probably protect him in some fashion. It doesn't really say. It doesn't say if that holy shield actually provides fortified health or just immunity to damage. I don't know. But as far as I'm concerned, it looks like in some fashion it's going to provide a protective barrier while channeling this, and when the channel is over, she provides a massive heal to her target only, not herself. So pretty much I can see, you know, going in, you're going to want to use your A, possibly, to engage, because it dashes towards the target. And then it provides that holy shield to anybody around her. Yeah, so it seems like it'd be ideal for like when a fight happens. She's kind of like a hybrid between maybe even Lance and Arden. So she goes in there with her benediction, which is like Vanguard, similar to that. And then she provides that holy shield like Vanguard, kind of. And then after that, then she has her Holy Nova. So after using your A, you want to use your B right away, because that will provide a knock up into the air. So you're charging in with your A, you cast your B, you knock everybody up while also providing shields through your A, and then, you know, if need be, you use your Divine Intervention for whatever target is being destroyed and lain by burst, or whatever situation you're in. We do have the basic attack again, the Retribution. That is pretty important too, because the more you do basic attacks, the more you'll do Grand Slam, which is actually what I would think is, if you're going warrior route, that Ground Slam is going to be actually popping off a lot more if you're going attack speed. So it might work out. She might be pretty heavy in CC as the warrior route too, just because of her passive. But anyways, there we go. That's her kit. And then Grace in combat. So it is a good idea to buy some crystal power on Grace, even when played as a captain, because it strengthens the power of her holy shields as well as her passive damage reduction. So looks like they're trying to gear us into like kind of going away from just strictly captain items, but being more offensive at the same time, which also provides some, you know, passive attributes to her defensive skills. When possible, using Retribution not only for the additional damage and slow, but also for the cooldown reduction on her abilities. That's her passive again, guys. This works while attacking an enemy, not just heroes, so it's beneficial to attack jungle monsters and lane minions when you need to use your important abilities. So if you're in a fight and you're trying to run away, you can possibly use, or you're trying to get to an ally, you can possibly use minions to reset the cooldown on your A so you can actually use it, whatever it may be. Benediction is a great skill to initiate fights, but it's also a very powerful defensive ability, using it on the most threatening enemy hero to greatly reduce the amount of damage that your team takes. So, okay, that's how it works. So Benediction, the target of Benediction is an enemy hero, it looks like. I think, right? I don't know if you can use it on allies. But anyways, so if you cast it on a hero, you want to do it on the one that's doing the most damage, because then all the other allies are taking reduced damage in that area from that specific target. So that's important. Holy Nova has a delay, making it easy for enemies to invade. Make sure to position yourself as close to the enemy as possible before casting it. So yeah, definitely you want to use it in a proper timing sequence, because if not, they're just going to go ahead and evade it. and it puts yourself at a disadvantage. Well, Divine Intervention reduces damage on all allies when casted, so it does provide reduced damage. So her ultimate, when casted, it provides reduced damage immediately to her allies, and I assume herself. The heal does not come after until a short channel. Be wary when casting her ultimate on critical low heroes or allies because they may die before the heal occurs. So while you provide that initial damage reduction, doesn't mean they won't die during the channeling time. So you want to have a good timing on that. You don't want to use it when they're super low, primarily because you might just waste that ultimate because they might die before you even get the heal off, since it's a fairly long channel time, it seems like. But yeah, there we go. So it says keep an eye on the news section for more Grace info and guides. I'm assuming they're going to be releasing some video, teaser of the hero, or just, you know, some images of the abilities. I've seen her in game. I can't really say, you know, exactly what she looks like as far as her abilities, but they're definitely getting to the finished product, and I'm pretty excited. I have to say that her abilities are starting to look really, really cool. There is a little thing that I noticed that was kind of off, so I know they're not necessarily finished yet, but it's definitely getting there. So we're on the brink of seeing her entirely, I assume. But there we go. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video showing off of the Grace abilities and splash art. And again, if you guys haven't already, definitely hit that like button. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys next time. Later.